What's up, y'all? What's going on? It's your girl Queen G. This is your girl Queen G. So listen, y'all. This show right here is very, very powerful, very inspirational. Definitely take a seat, take some notes, bring your notebook and write it all down, and definitely share this post because I believe this is going to wake up America. This particular live. Like
Yes.
so, I want to jump right on in because both of my special guests are so amazing, powerful. Like y'all are super dope. And I don't want to waste no time and energy, but to go ahead and jump right in and introduce y'all. And then I'm gonna leave the, ball in your court, let you introduce yourself and kind of talk about your journey a little bit. And then we'll just jump right in on conversations of greatness. What it takes to do what we do, who we are, and all that stuff. We just gonna start mixing and mingling. Like this is a live mix and mingle of greatness.
Cool.
So,
I'm with it. I'm with it.
right, no further ado, I want to introduce motivational speaker, author, business owner, entrepreneur. Oh my God, Miss Amazing Kenya Sheats. She has a book out called 100 Sheets. I watch her lives. I watch your lives. I watch your lives. Woo! When I tell you I use your lives to calm me down after my lives, that's what it is. Like that's how serious this is. And you are such an amazing person. Awesome, great. You're elevating every day that I watch your lives and your podcast. And when I tell you, I can't wait to see what God does with you. You understand? Just from watching you, I know greatness is looming over you. You feel me? So that's you. That's Kenya Sheets, right? Then I'm gonna jump over here to my mans and them, Just B, who I met in Lubbock, Texas last year. Craziness. We
Yeah.
met on a whim through a mutual friend and stuff like that. We got together and it was like the world was not around us when we got on that red carpet, right? Like we lost everybody. It's gone in our moment. And this guy is a motivational speaker, very inspirational. He has his own podcast. He's out there putting it down and just changing the idea and thought process of the world. You know what I'm saying? Your thoughts and your ways and what you talk about, it actually changes the concepts of people's mindsets. Putting concepts into people like, hey, you can be greater or more than what you are. And those things like that right there, that's you, Just Be. You are elevating others through your thought process. When I tell you, this today was so spontaneous. We had no plan.
Hey, none at all.
And when I was like, we all had a space to get together, I was like, let's go. Let's do it, period. Now, about myself, real quick, I'm going to give a little intro. 20 plus years in the entertainment industry, on the media aspect of things. Very, very interesting career and ride. When I tell you, it's been interesting. Red carpet host, blogger, writer, all of that stuff. I've done a lot of different things in the entertainment business. I've even been a casting director out of all things, which is interesting. Role that I never thought. You know what I'm saying? Today, I look at that and I'm like, whoa. So anyway, we all on this particular core conversation wear a lot of hats. We do a lot of things. And I want us to just have a talk, a conversation of greatness so that we can motivate others that are going to be tuning in on just about life, where we are today. Talk a little bit about our social issues and what impacts us and what impacts the world. I'm going to start with you, Kenya. Go, girl. Tag.
Hey, everybody. Nice to meet you, Just Be. Hey, Shonta.
Nice to meet you,
too. So much. I'm grateful. God is good. This is definitely divine intervention, divine connection, because it just came together so peacefully. No confusion. Like it flowed. And that's how you know it's God, when it just works. And it just seems so sudden and it just seems out of the blue. So I'm grateful. I am author Kenya Sheets of 100 Sheets, an inspirational memoir, expressing God's love through vulnerability. This is my first ever self-published book, but I am a journalism major, journalist, celebrity journalist, publicist, ghostwriter, resume makeover queen. Hit me up if you need that. But,
Okay.
Writing is my gift, and just using my words of wisdom and encouragement to push people off the cliff of fear is my passion. So that's what I want to do here tonight, is to encourage people to be the best versions of themselves. And by doing that is renewing your mind, by renewing who you are every single day. And I'm
I
just
agree.
excited to be here. So I'm ready to hear what y'all got going on. Let's get it.
Man, Tag, you're it. Just come on, bring it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so if y'all watching on this platform, you know me, it's your boy Timothy B, also known as Just B Speaks. I'm a motivational speaker. I push self-love, self-love and your mental mindset. It definitely starts with your mind. If you don't love yourself mentally, which means, I mean, in a sense, it's like this, right? Y'all about to get me started.
Oh, go for it. That's what we're
in
here
a,
for.
in a sense, it's like this. It start with self. A long time ago, I didn't love myself. I looked in the mirror. Everybody else on the outside let me know, like, yo, you look good, or you're talented, or whatever. But none of that mattered unless I love myself for who I was. So I created Just Be. Just Be came to me in a dream, y'all. The people that know me, y'all already know this whole story. It came to me in a dream, and Jesus himself came to me and told me, yo, Tim, just be. Jesus, what it stands for is Jesus be.
Yeah.
So live through spirituality. And yeah, and I maintain that, y'all. I'm a motivational speaker, business owner. I own the window cleaning company. This here is my platform, the Just Be Show. And really, this entire platform is to focus on people that's on the rise. So if you're somebody or anybody that has a dream or a passion and you're trying to get to it, make sure you always fall forward
Yes.
and let's get it, because that's what
Mm,
we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. We're here to uplift people, not just some people, but everybody.
Yes.
I love fall forward. What you think
Yeah.
about that, King? Meditate on that for a second. Fall forward.
I mean, because it ain't no turning back.
Right.
At all.
No pillar of salt coming this way. You just keep
Right.
your eyes on the prize, stay focused. And just be strong and courageous, be audacious, be intentional. I think that's what a lot of people are missing, is their purpose. And when you love yourself, you do find your purpose.
Yeah,
Mm,
It's connected. I mean,
mm,
necessary. I'm like, the first chapter of my book, like, my last name is an acronym. So it stands for self-love, okay? Hope,
hey,
entrepreneurship, anxiety, transformation, and successes. So those
mm.
6 chapters of those acronyms is what is a part of my gumbo until this greatness that you see today. So it was definitely a process. It was definitely transformative, but it was all purposeful. Like, our pain has purpose. And I believe, like, when we learn how, and especially on my live today, what I talked about is
Ooh.
encouraging yourself, but encouraging that by loving you, starting with you, looking in the mirror, looking in the man in the mirror, saying, I love
yeah,
you, self-forgiveness. Our inner
yeah,
me can be our enemy, right? And for a very long time, I was battling with myself. So when you become one with yourself, or you can become intuitive with God and just surrender and confess and take accountability for your own stop blaming other people for what's going on with you, and start to see where you played a part in that role, and take accountability and forgive yourself for making, unconscious or unthoughtful decisions. Then you will be
yes,
able to be a better person, not just for the people around you, but for the world. Like, we're expecting change to happen like it's gonna fall out of the sky, when it's gonna really start with us. So
Right.
yeah,
all
Let me
that.
take us back to this morning when I did that live where I was very, very full. I've been meditating on this word of purpose for like the last couple of days. I couldn't just break out with it and talk about it. Like, I had to sit here and talk to God and meditate through it in order to present it to the audience. Because as
Yeah.
you can see, during the live, I even came into tears. Like, it was so intense for me, getting across what this actual thing is of purpose is. What getting that across was so intense this morning that I needed your live to kind of reel me back in and refill me after I had poured out onto the live that I did this morning. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, First of all, one of the things that I know that brings us into our full divine purpose is when we let go. We have to let go of some of that weight and some of those burdens and get this stuff off of our shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And just walk right on in. It takes a process though. You know what I mean? You're not just gonna wake up and be great. You know what I'm saying? You learn so much to get to the point of greatness. You learn so much. For me, it took losing it all. I'm not saying that that's the way that it's going to teach everybody else. But for me, it took losing everything I had to bring me to my fullest potential of what God really wanted to do through my life. Okay? And it's because he knows I'm hard-headed. I'm an entrepreneur, business CEO. When you carry these titles, it's like, it's me. That was my problem. And God knew in order to shake me up and get me to the point where I let go and let him, he removed every person, every clothing item out of my life, cars, houses, everything that I would gravitate to, that I was holding on to. You know what I'm saying? That kept me bound. Once that was gone and out, guess what? I fell straight on my face and straight on my knees.
Amen.
Amen on that one.
You fell forward, sis.
You fell forward. That's right.
Just be. Let's hear from you a little bit.
Oh man, let me see, man. My success, or I'm still in the pursuit of success too, as well. It stemmed from a lot of things. You know what I mean? And number one, I grew up with a strong woman, a strong black mother. Big ups to my mama, yo, for real, for real. She did her thing. She did. I know she watching right now too. but yeah, being my mother being a single parent, and having to be both the mother and the father, that gave me strength in itself. That taught me that the strength is possible, that you don't have to have all of the variables put directly in, right in the box so you can have it all at once. If it's spread out, that's okay. So that's number one. And then, not having a father when I was growing up, gave me a lot of knowledge. I used to play the victim role though. Let me tell you, I used to be the victim. I used to play that role like, oh, I don't have a dad, so I'm going through it, yada, yada, yada. Nah, I'm done with that. I was done with that. I realized that my dad did the best he could for who he was and what he knew. So I learned to overcome that. That was a struggle of mine. But my most important outbreak, my realization was when I found self. I looked in the mirror one day and I realized that I had lost me. I didn't see Tim. I didn't, Just B hadn't been born yet. I didn't see Tim. I seen somebody else. I seen a pretender, a faker, and all of that. And I was lost. And when I didn't recognize who I was, is when I realized, like, yo, I got to do what I got to do to find me. And that's when I, started the Just Be journey. One of my main things I focus on while I was going through this transition, and still down to this day, is the fact that you have to learn to smile every day. You got to learn to laugh every day. And you need to motivate the masses every day. The masses don't mean it has to be 1 million people. A mass can be anybody more than just yourself. That's a mass. You know what I mean? So I focus on that. And I feel like everybody out there should focus on that too. Smile, laugh, and definitely be motivational to somebody. And it'll bring you out of that darkness. Let me tell you, sisters, it will bring you out of that darkness like no other. Like I was speaking to you earlier, Shonta. I was super popular. I was super popular to everybody else though. I was known and popular for all the wrong things.
Right.
So I needed to be popular for self. And now I love myself, y'all. I'm enjoying it. So
let's applaud to loving you. Woo.
Yeah, love yourself, y'all. Love yourself.
Shake.
Love yourself.
Let's clap and then pat yourself on the back because you are great.
Yeah.
And that's the things that I teach people every day, that you are great. Let me do this real quick experiment. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick, and then I'm gonna pass it back to you, Ken, because I want to get more into the meat of this. You understand me? Let me give y'all a demonstration. This is really a trip. So I'm going to tell myself that I'm a failure in one breath and tell myself that I'm great in the next, right? What you're going to see right before our faces is that it took the exact same amount of time. Okay? I'm a failure. I'm great.
Right.
And which one feels good? Which one
You know
feels
what I'm
good?
saying? Yeah.
I'm great.
Yeah. In that. So one of the things about transforming your mindset is to first stop talking down about you. Stop putting yourself down. Stop saying that you're gonna fail or that you are gonna hit every brick road that comes. Stop telling yourself that. Self-doubt is one of the biggest reasons why we don't come to our fullest potential. You know what I'm saying? On a daily basis. That self-doubt is a terrible thing to have.
100%.
You know? And one of the biggest things that us as motivators and all that, we deal with our own mindset, toying with, dang, okay, I'm in my feelings today, or I'm in my head and I'm in my thoughts. But just that demonstration alone shows you that just like you're telling yourself, I am not feeling so good today, you can turn that mindset around and put it into a positive affirmation that is going to change your whole mood and change the entire course of how you started your day. So go ahead, Kenya, give me some feedback on that.
Well, I was just telling somebody yesterday, it was my cousin, about speaking what she wants to see. And it's so necessary. And I was just giving our grandma an example. For example, I was like, speaking to my grandma one day, and I'm just like, old lady, you really, you really be manifesting some things. Like grandma always will be on the phone and she don't complain. She just talks about what she wants to see, what she would like God to do in her life, and she gets it. And so that made me want to transform the way that I was thinking or the way that I was speaking and actually believe in what I say, because a lot of times people can say you'll never be nothing and you will believe it. And it'll take 1,000 other people to tell you that you're going to win for you to click. But the one negative thought registered, but everything else positive is second guess. And so when you said that, I'm great or I'm a failure, I'm like, what feels good? I'm saying I'm great feels good, rather than, saying that I'm a failure. But people have to look at failure as a tool. And that's what I talk about in 100 Sheets into Success. I'm not talking about the glitz and glam of the material things, because I'm just like you. I've been stripped away. I talk about failing to succeed, right? We can use the word failure, but how can you know how to do something if you've never done it? So just being able to be corrected and apply that lesson, because a lesson learned is only when a lesson is applied. So to be able to apply what you learn and incorporate it in your daily activity, or it be something that you're consistent with, you will see progress. And a lot of people just want that instant gratification. Don't nobody want to take the time. We want all the free gems. But I'm just like, I need to shut up because I know I got a big mouth. So I'm like, I need to stop giving some people so much information because they'll value more if they spent on it. Okay, some people will actually take, consideration just because it's like a light bulb goes off, but they don't really act on it. But you can tell the people who actually invest in their dreams, who want it and who doesn't. So that's something that I gotta work on. But you do have people like you, me, and Tim, Just Be, that are really pouring into people. Like we're people that can go back and try to pick people up, but we got to understand everybody is not there, but to walk into greatness, to be great, is to be intentional with yourself and your time and your energy and your space and your activity, and who are you connected to? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are these people that you are surrounded with? How do they talk about you? How do they view you? I love the introduction that you gave me. You can find out how people feel about you when they introduce you to somebody. Oh, that's just, you get what I'm saying? Or
right.
Emphasize on who you are and show that you're a great person. I think all of that matters.
By the way, y'all, I want y'all to know the two that's to the left and right of me, I am your stalker. Okay? I want you to know that. Like, I may not comment or say stuff all the time, but just know that me as a motivational speaker and a person that pours out into others so much, I need a you and a Kenya. I need a Dusty and a Kenya to pour back into me. That is literally what happened this morning. After I got done with my live this morning, I was so wiped out emotionally, just from giving and just pouring out my thoughts into the world and crying and weeping. And it was so dramatic for me. I'm going through social media and I come across Kenya's live, and she talks about rebuilding self and putting energy into you and spending time alone and how important that is. Oh, it began to, I was like, okay, I'm picking me back up now. I got that word I needed. You know what I'm saying? And just
iron sharpens iron.
I think, just be you said, I think, tell me about how you have watched my lives to get you in order. Like it's a trip. Talk about that.
Yeah. So look, let me explain to y'all our entire how this whole situation happened. So from my point of view, so as y'all know, me and Shonta, we're doing I'm interviewing her tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on the show. The topic of that is the pursuit of success. You know, I didn't even know who Kenya was until about 25 minutes ago.
Right.
So Shonta was calling me this morning. I was sleeping. I had a late. I was up working early this morning, late night, early morning. And then I missed her call. Someone just told me to, yo, get up. So I wake up, look on my phone, boom. Shonta had messaged me and she's like, hey, I have this thing that I want to do with one of my good friends. And, you know, I was wondering if maybe, you know what, I'm gonna just download it. Just call me. So I call her, I get myself together and I give her a call. And then we have a long conversation before we even discuss about this situation here. Like literally, we just talk about everything. But before I called her, I waited to call you, Shonta, because I was watching your live.
Right.
It was the first thing that came up on my news feed. And I woke up kind of groggy this morning, and I watched your live, and I was like, yo, that's real. That's real. I felt it. And I started to get emotional, you know. So I knew at that point I had to call you. It was mind over matter. It didn't matter that I was tired and I was groggy. I knew I had to call you at that point. Not even to, I was calling you to give you credit for putting yourself out there like that. That was real, you know. And then at the very end of it, we talked about you, Kenya. And then she let me know about what we wanted to talk about. So I was like, yo, this is crazy. This is wild. And with that being said, let me say this. I heard this post that says, or a quote. It says that, and I just posted on Just Be Speaks, the only obstacle that you truly have to get over is not in the flesh. It's not in the physical. It's in the mental. It's mind over matter, y'all. You know, so even though Kenya, you may have been going through something, so you did your live, and I haven't watched it yet, but I will. And then Shonta was going through she had some heavy in her gut and on her heart, so she brought it out. And then I was going through some frustration business stuff last night, so I was up all night. I barely got any sleep, but I feel like I've slept all night long once I woke up and watched Shonta's live. And then bam, we all linked up, and now we're here providing this testimony to the masses. You know, energy matters.
We couldn't cut it off. We had to keep it going. That's how intense this morning was for all of us. Like my live, your live, watching, like all of us are literally, we couldn't shut it down. We had to keep it going. That's how intense it was. I felt like I gave birth this morning.
We don't know how that feel, but ooh-wee.
Right. And it's for a mother, when you give birth, there's a crowning process, right? There have been babies on the inside of me. I'm not talking about a physical baby. I'm talking about a spiritual baby. This conversation that I had this morning, that was festering for days. You understand? And it was in the pit of my gut and in the pit of my spirit. And it kept festering and festering. I was like, I went to bed with it because I watched Just Mercy last night.
I love that movie.
And when he talked about, you know, but I don't care who it is and what they done went through, all of us deserve some kind of mercy and favor and grace. That part, it it resonated for me and it had me in tears last night. So I went to bed and laid on this purpose and these babies that was inside of the pit of my stomach. You understand? And this morning it was time. I'm sitting outside of Dollar General about to go in there and run and get some tissue, toilet paper. I was like, let me go live real quick.
It was a snowball effect. That's what it was. Everything that happened with you last night, I'm not sure what went through your mind last night, Kenya, or and barely in your mind. I was just brainstorming last night, but it was a snowball effect. You seen that movie, you felt something.
Yeah.
I felt something. I was having conversations with people and I felt something. And then obviously something was heavy on Kenya's heart and she felt something. And then I woke up in the morning. My bad, Kenya. Shonta, you woke up and seen Kenya's post.
Right.
Kenya seen your post. I seen your post. I got a platform. And then it was just a snowball effect. Boom, 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 boom. And now we're here. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That ain't nothing but the Lord. Amen, man.
Figure out when I was gonna do my live because I had an interview today at 3. So I said I was gonna use that energy after my interview to go live. Holy Spirit just kept saying, like, you need to go now. So as I was trying to type up my description, I was playing some gospel music, and the next song that came on was Encourage Yourself. And I was like, this is perfect just because, like, I gotta encourage myself to go live now because I want to go live later. And then I'm just like, but even in the midst of what I have going on in my life, I do need to continue to encourage myself. Yeah. And so that was what my word was today. And then Holy Spirit gave me like a break. I'm over here saying like ways to encourage yourself. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna come up with the 5 ways to encourage yourself. And the first thing was look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. And then Tim is on here talking about self-love. So it's just literally all divine at the same time. But I'm just so glad that I said yes. Sometimes we got to get used to saying yes and not no. To piggyback off what you said, and I think I spoke about that today, is that we got to get out of the mindset of I don't feel like it. We're never gonna feel like doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't feel like it. And we let that one feeling dictate our whole day, not knowing that it could be a domino effect, not knowing that if we was to get that feeling out, we could really serve a greater purpose than what we're already operating in. So I'm glad that I said yes. I'm glad that you gave birth this morning. I'm glad that you answered the call.
I gave birth, right?
Obedience is just better than sacrifice. Because if we was to all say no, we would have shut down. This wouldn't even be happening. So just because we said yes, and there is a yes in Christ Jesus, and because we said yes, we're able to, be passionate. Like we are speaking with a smile. You know what I'm saying? Right. And we love what we do, and we are vessels for others. So, and we're filled up to continue to pour. So that's the main.
I got something really important to ask you guys. I want to get us back into the conversation of greatness. I want to know, I'm going to tell y'all what I do to be great every single day. And then I want to hear from y'all one thing that you do, and I want you to expound on it, to be great every single day, to come to your maximum potential. What is it that you do? One thing, one strong thing that you do every single day that makes it happen, that pushes you through to the next level. For me, I'm going to say this evolution of my life has taken place since the homelessness. Okay. So I was homeless from 2016 to 2018 in Las Vegas. I'm a red carpet host, public figure, the whole 9. Okay. People considered me to be great. And here I am standing there on the red carpet hosting, hungry. No one knew of the real struggle that was going on, you know what I mean, behind the scenes and at home, and how I literally had to shift my mind to be great for that moment and then be hit in the face with the reality that we had nowhere to go that night and we had to figure out where to lay our heads. Okay. So my evolution started in 2018 when I fell on my face and fell on my knees to commit my life to God's purpose I no longer wanted to do my own thing because I was like, if I lost it all, I'll commit my life to you. I'll go ahead and put my foot in front of the other and do whatever you want me to do. So that is when my evolution began to take place, right? And what I do to be great every day, I'm gonna tell you what my prayer is. God, order my steps.
Amen.
That's it. And when you
Amen.
put the higher power in the power seat and in the high position and in the high priority, put that first, then the way my day flows is because of him. That's just it. That explains why I am always smiling. That explains why there is a glow on my face when I go live and do these amazing things, writing 12 books, being a mother of 7 children, being a wife, fitting all these different roles and wearing all these different hats that I have to wear. That is why I can do what I do, because I put him in position first to order my life. And whatever it is that you would have me to do this day, you know what I'm saying? That is what we are going to do. So
Amen.
Right,
that's my
right.
story. Y'all go ahead. Whoever would have it next. I'm gonna let y'all do it.
Just be.
Look, I one thing that I do every day, but let me say this. I still battle with things like depression, anxiety.
Right.
I still battle with self-love, you know. So every single day, I have this quote. It says, own your power.
I love
I have
that.
to dig deep. I got to dig
Mm.
deep, y'all. I got to dig deep every day and look at myself and tell myself, own your power, Tim. Own your side, own your power, Just B. Do what you do. Do what you know is best. Don't let the enemies within, you know. Let me say this piece. I wrote a poem a while back, and I literally tell myself this every day. I ain't gonna read it. I ain't gonna say the whole poem, but a
No,
piece
give
of it.
it to us. Give it to us. Yeah,
It
we here.
it says like, I refuse to be bound and tied by my hands and feet and tucked away later by the enemies within me. I re- I won't allow dirt in my face and mud in my eyes, because if I am blind, how can I see? You feel me? That's just a portion of it. I can't give the whole thing because I'm gonna put it in a book. But that's literally, I have to after I had that dream, where I was just falling. I was just in the world and I was just falling. And I just hit the ground, smack, hard. And I had no answers until I looked up and opened my eyes to the world. And that's when the skies opened, and Jesus came and he talked to me and he let me know, like, yo, just be you. Just be you.
Mm-hmm.
Own your power. So every day I wake up and I say that piece of that poem to
Ooh.
myself in the mirror, and I let myself, like, yo, just be, own your power, and just be anything that you can be. And I smile, laugh, and motivate every single day. That's literally how I survive every day of every week of every month. I'm getting emotional about it because it's
Mm.
true.
Yeah.
It's okay for a man to be vulnerable and to open up, because we need help too. We need help too. Real talk. And yeah, that's what I do,
Own your
y'all.
power. Love. Listen, y'all giving me some jewels here. I'm gonna
I love it.
be running after this live.
For myself
Yeah.
and being great, it I do start my day off with prayer, y'all. It's so necessary to glorify and to acknowledge the one who is the eye opener, the breath giver, the giver of life.
Mm.
That is definitely necessary. So when you say order my steps, I say, Lord, order my steps and my stops. It's necessary. It's
Mm.
necessary, and I definitely pray for their provision. And what has become a necessity is my health, and that
Yeah.
is when I started beginning to feel great and to really exude and recognize what that greatness is the resistance of putting in energy, because I come from, working from home and being idle, just sitting in the same place, not moving, not exercising, not eating right, none of that. So since I've incorporated exercise and drinking more water, as you see, I had to go get my bottle, but just, health is wealth. but without the wealth aspect, health is everything. If I want to be great, I got to be the best version of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
For me to be great in my mind, it's necessary to go out and walk at a park and see scenery and just really dwell at God's greatness and the splendor of his creation. So for me, it's that prayer life, but it's that accountability of really taking care of me. And that's going to consist of sweating, bending, lifting, walking. I have to have it. And it's crazy because again, I never ever took care of me. It was self neglect. I will always put my hands and on my life in the hands of men, thinking that somebody who's gonna love me is gonna take care of me when they weren't even loving and taking care of themselves. So when I was able to understand that it's going to start with me, that's that S and Sheets. That's that self-love. Once I realized that not only am I going to publish a book and the first chapter is about self-love, but health it has to come second, period. So I got on that health tip, y'all. I'm down 40 plus pounds since January. It's just
hold on, let's have a moment.
It's an amazing transformation. I'm not the same woman from January 1st, February 1st, March, April, hell, June 1st. Every day is necessary for me to evolve, to learn, and to grow, and to connect with amazing people. So with the prayer formula and the let me take care of me formula, it's been amazing.
Be better.
I got another question, y'all. Y'all know I'm a host and an interviewer, so I got a question for y'all because we are talking about maximizing our greatest potential and what it is that we use, the formulas we use to become successful, to come into our greater good of who we are, right? So I want to know, what statement do you live by that resonates with you every single day? And I want you to expound on it. For me, my statement has become in the last couple of years, create a lane. Okay. And what that simply means is every door ain't open for you.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to break them down.
Yeah. For real.
You know what I'm saying? You got to literally break them down. What did I do, Just Be? Although you and I know each other, I also asked you if there was any way that I can be on your podcast.
Yeah. Yep. She always reaching out for sure.
Open or discussed even, but I asked him, just like Kenya, you and I discussed me having you on my podcast as well. These lanes sometimes are not there. They don't even exist. There's a no walk-in zone for some of these lanes, but sometimes you gotta beat them down.
Yeah.
You understand?
Sure. Yeah.
So that is what I mean. If you think about a lane or a driveway or a one of these zones that have the yellow tape up and you ain't supposed to go that way, whatever. Okay, well, there's a way around that. You understand me? So what is it that we're gonna do to get to the other side of this supposedly, because everything they say that it's dangerous and all this, but you got to step outside of your boundary of comfortability. Everything don't exist in a comfortable lane.
That's true.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? So what is it that you're going to do beyond all these limitations that's supposedly before you to break this door down? What is it that I got to do? So a lot of times, me, Miss Sister over here, I get really creative. And you got to open your mouth and ask.
Yeah.
So that's my statement. Go ahead, y'all.
Go ahead, Kenya. Ladies first.
Okay. I got to grab this to put my phone on the charger. 1 second.
Oh, ain't no problem.
But as I was thinking, I know it's cliche because we talk about conversations of greatness, but owning my greatness is definitely something that I've been saying. Like, own your greatness. You got to own your greatness. But I can say, y'all, starting out this year of 2020, my birthday is December 29th. That's when I turned 28. So when I turned 28,
that's my husband's birthday, girl.
Okay, well he all right with me.
He's a Capricorn, yeah, that's his exact birthday. That's crazy.
So I said when I turned 28 that Romans 8:28 was going to be my scripture for the year. That all things, will work together for my good, because I know that I've been through a lot. And so since I declared and decreed that Romans 8:28 was going to be my year, that's what I've been seeing. Okay. And that's been the reminder of things that even if I don't understand it, right? The words say, lead not unto your own understanding, but acknowledge
Right.
God to direct your path. But it's also been one of those, but still everything is working for my good. Everything is working together for my good, and I think that's what continues to make me motivated, continues to make me want to, walk into this greatness, to not dim my light, to not dim that greatness, to understand that greatness makes other people uncomfortable,
Mm.
to be able to recognize that greatness doesn't associate with everybody. Like
Yeah.
literally, not being bougie, but being true to myself, right? Because I've lived in a space where I tried to make everyone else comfortable, and I seen how uncomfortable that made me. I seen how much that shrunk me as a great individual. Because at the end of the day, the more that you give people access to you, the more that they will start trying to like dim your light and turn things off just because you blinding them. But the sun don't care who it blinds at all. So just being able to know that things are working together for my good, and to know that God is a great God, that he is the same God, that I will get through whatever it is that I may be facing. So that's really it. Owning that greatness, being okay with making other people uncomfortable, but also knowing that all things is working together. So
Yeah.
that's how I say
But
it.
it's uncomfortability for a greater purpose. So if it's making
Always.
them uncomfortable, that means that they need to step up to the plate of greatness with you. Either they're going to step up or step out.
I've been
Uncomfortability
leaving a
is
lot of
good.
people.
Right.
Leaving.
Right. Go ahead, Just be.
Oh man. We talked about smile, laugh, motivate. That's something I definitely deal with. All of the quotes I use, I use that every single day. The most recent one is the one that I resonate with the most. Is be better than yesterday. You
Yes.
know that has a lot to do with falling forward. Or failing forward. If you don't fall backwards, y'all. Is it? Just think about that's constant progress. Constantly is you always, even if it's one little task that you do the next day that you didn't do the day before, you're still in a forward progress. And with
Yeah.
forward progress, it creates momentum. And with momentum, you can break through them doors. Just imagine if you standing at a door, and that's your barrier that you have between fear and
Mm.
greatness. You know what I mean? And you're just standing there, you just knocking, but ain't nobody answering. Or you knocking and you hear them on the other side, but they don't got the key to unlock the door to let you in.
Mm.
And you either got to make your own key or you got to bust it down.
Right.
So
Woo!
you know what I mean? So you create that forward movement constantly, and every single day it's just snowballing, 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 snowballing. Next thing you know, when you get to that barrier, that obstacle, which is, remember, it's mental. When
Mm.
you get to that obstacle, boom, you busting through it, and now you're at greatness. And but it takes work. It takes work. So I definitely live by that every single day. Be better than yesterday. And today, guess what, y'all? I'm being better than I was yesterday. So
Yep.
I'm
Right.
cool with that. I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna do something interesting in this conversation of greatness. I'm gonna shift it over to Just B, who is also a host, and I absolutely love his platform and your questioning. I told you I respect the man for his questions. How you respect the man for his questions?
Because they don't know how to
So
ask them.
right. So I'm gonna shift this to you and have you go ahead and ask us something that you want to ask while we're here live.
Okay.
Okay. As far as chasing greatness, do you ladies feel like do you feel like it's easier for you? Okay, in the industry that we're in, let's say motivational speaking. Do you ever get discouraged when it's a room full of men versus
Mm.
a combined room with men and women?
Hmm.
That's interesting. I have not, as of this point, I have not had just a room full of men only in a panel or conversation or anything like that. It's been predominantly men at some points, but not all men.
Right.
But discouraged, no, I don't get discouraged. I don't get discouraged. Like I still believe that this is a sexist society. You know what I mean? And there are
Yeah.
certain roles and things like that that are predominantly ran by men and dominated by men. But the thing is, we talked about, putting on you first, like making you the first priority. I even talk about how before you walk through your threshold every day, you got to talk to yourself and tell you that you're going to be great before you pass that door
Yep.
and walk
Yeah.
into the world. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes when we face this world, it's a lot of crazy stuff out there. And if you don't put you together before you leave, your reaction is going to be different because you didn't take care of business at home first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't get intimidated. I'm not intimidated. Even when people or men have tried to put me in a basket or whatever, it's like I'm a little bit strong-willed. Not a little bit, a lot. I'm not gonna lie. And let me tell you this. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let Kenya answer the question as well. You have to. You gotta. You know what I mean? You gotta be great. You gotta step into position. You gotta do what you gotta do, and a lot of times you gotta let your work speak for itself. And that right there silences a lot of situations and people. It shuts it down. You could tell me what I ain't all day, but what is my action saying?
Right.
What am I saying with my actions? The thing is, action speaks louder than words. Way louder than words.
Most definitely.
So that's the way I would answer that. We have 14 minutes left on this podcast. So go ahead, can you go for it, girl? I want to hear your perspective on that too.
Honestly, I am a lady, y'all, but I go get my hair cut. So I'm in all kind of dominant men conversations. Okay, so I could just say, if I'm ever in a room full of men, do I ever feel intimidated? Like I'm at the barbershop and I am speaking. Okay, if you go to Jerry out here in Powder Springs, he is very controversial, as in he just knows how to spark a conversation. And even from like having a conversation and coming back, he'll tell me, piggyback on like where we left off on how what I said might have influenced or inspired somebody, or somebody was looking for you, looking for that lady, or I have the men following me on Facebook. So I'm like, okay, it works, but it's what's intimidating for me, y'all, is I don't mind this, right? Because you know that I'm going to speak. I went to a protest the other day and literally was like, I had so much to say, but couldn't say it at all.
Yeah.
It was like, that was intimidating for me. It was a mixed crowd, but it was just being on the spot. And especially for while we're protesting, I think I was just more so focused on it being perfect than just allowing Holy Spirit to just, run through me and whoever be able to receive it. So just within that time that I knew that I could shine, it was dimmed a little bit, but it also struck a chord to say, we can know what to do to move forward. So it wasn't the crowd. It was just more so of what is the message. Like I just went to really participate,
Right.
To participate. I didn't go to be vocal, but I'm like, yo, you an author, you got all of this. Like it wasn't about me, if that made sense, right? Because I could have went from a PR standpoint, I could have got my photo ops. I didn't go for that. So it's like moving forward, I can't say, because I do have a platform and I do have a voice, I can go speak, and I would know what to say and I'd be unapologetic about it. But that was just a real recent experience from Sunday. I'm like, girl, you actually was shook up, but I just really didn't know what to say. But
some stuff is just emotional, especially right now with dealing with, the social issues of our world, which we're not going to get into a deep conversation about that.
right.
Really, we don't have time because it would take us especially us. It will take us
Hey,
all day.
we can do a part two.
Another
But I
one.
do have a question. I do have a question for you guys, though. That's really interesting. I don't want you to explain anything as we get ready to end this podcast. The last question and final question of the day is going to be, what one word comes to your mind when you think about the situation with George Floyd? One word. And I want us to kind of not have a conversation about it, just have like a small moment of silence right after that thought process. One word that resonates when you think about George Floyd. And then we're going to give our platforms and then we'll be out of here. Okay.
My word, once you said one word, it was either going to be resilient or outrage. So to answer your question is outrage. This is an outrage.
Outrage.
Pain.
Pain.
That's my word.
Mine, and then I get emotional thinking about this. I just do. Mine is mama.
He did that, and she's deceased. He called out to his deceased for his deceased mother.
That's deep.
Mama. Because just because I
get
that's what takes the life out of me. I'm a mom too. You understand?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, and now we can let we gotta reel our voices back in again.
Jesus, okay.
Right. Powerful, right?
Yeah,
and
that's deep.
I want us to give our social medias and tell where we can be found and talk about any projects we have. At this point, that is when we do that, because we got like 7-8 minutes left in the show. So.
Go ahead, Shonta, let them know.
Oh man, okay, here we go. For me, I am on all platforms, Queen G Live Experience. Queen G Live Experience. You can also find me on Amazon. I have 12 books on Amazon, including 5 children's books. They are entitled, real quick, I'm trying to get through them real quick. Queen G Media Course The Journey, Get Back Up Again, E's to Success, D's to Success, C's to Success. I have My Unicorn Cake. What's the other 4 books? Dolly Mix Up. It's a bunch of children's books and stuff. Find me on Amazon. Amazon under Shonta Gibson. That is how you can find all my books. Also, join me on my own podcast again, Queen G Live Experience. I'm doing a lot of things, interviews. You'll see me all over social media. You can Google me. I am Googleable. So that's me.
Awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful. Go ahead, Kenya.
Okay, so hey everybody again. I'm author Kenya Sheats of 100 Sheets, an inspirational memoir expressing God's love through vulnerability. You can get it at kenyasheets.com. SHEATS, Kenya like the country. So kenyasheets.com. And then my Instagram is at the world, at the @ the world of Kenya. And I also make skincare products, y'all. So you can go check out skingodproducts.com. I'm lying to y'all. It's at Instagram at Skin God Products, but everything is at kenyasheets.com. But yeah, kenyasheets.com, Kenya Sheets everywhere. Google too.
It's all good, mama. It's all good.
Beautiful,
Girl,
beautiful.
100sheets.com. I'm like, this not 100sheets.com.
Make sure you send me that link to your book so I can purchase.
Oh, thank you. I will.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this, Shonta, thanks for putting this together.
Thank you.
Thanks for putting this together. This was pretty awesome. I'm gonna say my last little things and then we're gonna exit off. And one thing I would want to say is y'all gave me power today. Y'all helping me own my power today. So I definitely appreciate it, ladies, and hopefully we can do this again. Let's chat after the show, man, and see what we can do and see what kind of experiences we can bring to the people. Yeah.
Okay, I'm with it.
Cool, cool. It was
What's your
definitely gonna be on.
platform? Be?
Oh, I'm about to drop it right now.
Okay.
So y'all know me. Thank you for being on the Just Be Show and watching myself, Shonta and Kenya. Y'all can find me on Instagram at the.justbe.show. You can find me on Facebook at the Just Be Show. I'm on YouTube as the Just Be Show. You can also find my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and
Yeah.
Spotify Podcasts. If you want to see my motivational stuff besides the show, you can find me on Facebook at Just Be Speaks. And yeah, y'all, and thanks for coming and joining in with us and chopping it up with us. And we'll talk with you guys soon. Thanks again, ladies. Let me bring you on one more time. Thanks
Yeah.
again, ladies, for being
So
on the
much.
show, y'all. And we love y'all. And we out.
We
Out.
are. Peace.
Peace.